Well, she's beautiful, talented and generous, but you don't want to be on the receiving end of this lady's forehand. Tonight we bring you a young tennis star with plenty of fight, not just to regain her #1 ranking, but to help free children from violence. Let's get you connected. At just 5 years of age, Anna Ivanovic decided her perfect match was the game of tennis. 11 years later, she was turning heads and made her professional debut. The young Serbian player with supermodel looks enjoyed a meteoric rise on and off the court. Within 2 years, she was amongst the top 20 female players in the world, and in 2008, she won the #1 ranking after victory at Roland Garros. She's also regularly topped most beautiful lists around the world and has been recognised for her charitable efforts as an ambassador for UNICEF's Schools Without Violence programme. Injury and illness have seen Ivanovic's ranking slide over the past season, but she's now on the rebound. Glamorous, ambitious, and the comeback kid of the international tennis circuit. But I began by asking Ivanovic about her UNICEF work.
I've been part of UNICEF, or ambassador for UNICEF, since about 3 years now. And today we had interaction with the kids, which was really nice. And we discussed some problems and issues they have in a school considering violence, not only physical, but also verbal.
Tell us about some of the stories you've heard, which I know some of our viewers will find quite upsetting.
Yeah, it is actually quite upsetting to hear how many kids have been bullied in school, and most of them been verbal. You know, lots of people swearing, lots of kids swearing at each other, and sort of disregarding them from their school and the kids they hang out with. So a lot of them felt lonely, and were sort of felt like downgraded from where they belong. So that's been a little bit sad to hear. And you know, once at first when I joined the program, there were a very high amount of bullies happening. It was more than 62% of the kids have been affected by it. And in recent years, lots of schools joined the program, not only primary schools. Recently, we had some high schools join the program as well. So it's been reduced a lot. They're creating a lot of programs within the schools to help each other and support the violence. So I was really pleased to see with the results.
You obviously understand the country. Why would you say there is this high prevalence of bullying and violence there?
I think there is problem in every environment, and here I just feel that some kids maybe feel a little bit threatened, and also back home, and then they bring it to school, and that's their way of trying to be superior and trying to maybe feel good about themselves while bringing other people down, and that's what's a little bit sad to see. And I think it's been a little bit more exaggerated here in Serbia rather than in other countries. So we really try to. And I really try to talk to them and bring them my experiences from not only time when I was in school, but also while traveling. And I can see it, you know, giving results. And kids are very happy to hear the stories, and that they hear that it's not only them being part of the bullying happening.
And if I could just ask you a bit about your childhood. There is this story we wanted to ask you about and wanted to clear this one up. All these stories we hear about you playing tennis in an empty swimming pool, which is why you're so successful at hitting accurate shots. Give us the true story on that and those early days there in Serbia.
Yeah, well, that's a true story. It's a big Olympic swimming pool, and that's been probably the only indoor court that we had at the time. And because it was very expensive for sports center to heat the swimming pool so they could use it for swimming, they emptied the pool, they put a carpet inside, and they placed 2 single tennis courts in there. And it was so close to the walls and the courts were so close to each other that we had to play a lot of down the line. So that's probably why they say I have a killer down the line.
And on your tennis career, Dennis Tang has got a question. He said, in your career, you've worked with several coaches. Who do you think has contributed most to the development of your game as we know it today?
Obviously, I worked with a few different coaches that brought a lot of things to my game, and it's very hard to contribute everything to one. But I definitely had a lot of success working with Sven and Adidas program. It's been a big part of my career. I spent more than 4 years working with him, and that was the time when I reached the #1 position and won French Open. So probably that's the most memorable one.
It must be nice for you to be at home right now. And Darko's asking, have you managed to keep a healthy balance between tennis and the WTA Tour and your personal life back home?
That's probably the hardest part. I'm in Belgrade. Actually, I just got to Belgrade today, and I'm going to spend only 2, 3 days here before heading off to do some preparation work. But that's probably the hardest part. We spend lots of time in the airplanes and airports, so it's just part of my basically everyday life, and I enjoy traveling, which helps a lot with what I do. But sometimes you do get tired, and sometimes it is hard being on a tour for so long. But that's why we have Skype and friends that we can keep in touch with.
Tameka and Steve asked, will you regain your #1 spot in 2011?
That's my goal, and I'm going to work very hard for it. I had a great finish of this year, and I'm very inspired and motivated to work in the off-season and get ready for next year. And I'm very positive I can get back to top 10, and would be great to reach as far as #1.